Breaking news. Keir Starmer has announced that he is launching, finally, a new national inquiry into the Muslim rape gangs. I am here live for the first time on this channel, Political Nerds. Thank you so much to everyone that's tuning in. So let me give you all the details that you guys need to know. Hey up everyone and welcome to Political Nerds Live. I'm Steph the Alter Nerd, your nerdy political guide from Washington DC to Westminster and beyond. I'm live, as I said, for the first time on this channel to give you some very, very important breaking news. Keir Starmer has announced that he is launching a new national inquiry into, as the mainstream media is saying, the grooming gangs. But opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, I'm going to call it as I see it. Muslim rape gangs. Now, before I give you all the information I've found so far, of course, the obvious disclaimer, do your own research, come to your own conclusions. And as a disclaimer, I'm not inciting hatred to anyone or particular group, religion, etc. Those watching live, keep me company in the live chat. I want to talk to you guys whilst we are live, such as Nina C. saying hi, Steph. Hey up, Nina C. How's it going? Alex is saying good evening, everyone. Good evening, Alex. Steph Casely saying hello, Steph. Hey up, Steph. Thank you so much to everyone that's tuned in. So, yeah, let's jump into it, shall we? Give me your thoughts as we go through it, and I'll be reading them out during this live stream. But yes, breaking news, finally. Oh, my goodness. What has got into Keir Starmer other than alleged Ukrainian rent boys? Because dude has just done a massive U-turn. In the last few minutes, he has just announced that he's going to launch a new national inquiry into, again, I'll call it as I see it, the Muslim rape gangs. So this is coming after a government requested an audit into the scale of these gangs across the country that concluded a nationwide probe was necessary. Now, this is a big, massive U-turn because it was only at the beginning of this year when we were all screaming for this in the first place that Keir Starmer was turning around and saying it wasn't necessary. We've already done our bit. It's not necessary. You know, you've got the J report, blah, 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 blah. We don't need a new national inquiry, blah, 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 blah. Well, big major U-turn, because, yeah, we need one, and we need one now. And so he's changed his view following an audit into group-based child sexual abuse led by Baroness Keir, which is set to be published next week. And so here, he's saying, quote, Baroness Keir's position, when I could get my teeth back in, when she started the audit, was that there was not a real need for a national inquiry over and above what was going on. He told reporters travelling with him to the G7 summit in Canada. She's looked at the material and she's come to the view that there should be a national inquiry on the basis of what she has seen. Well, hang on a minute. This makes no sense to me. And let me explain why. If you agree, let me know in the live chat. Because he's saying that Baroness Keir's position when she started this was that there wasn't a real need for a national inquiry. Well, if there wasn't a need for a national inquiry, why do the audit in the first place? Why waste Baroness Keir's time and do the audit in the first place? It makes no damn sense whatsoever. In my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, Keir Starmer wanted Baroness Keir to do this audit because he was hoping for a different outcome. The Baroness Keir would turn round and say, the J report's sufficient, everything's Gucci, we don't need a national inquiry, blah, 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 blah. Now, if that's the case, that has blown right back into Keir Starmer's face because that's not what's happened at all. Baroness Keir's turned around and is like, yeah, we need a national inquiry and we need one yesterday. And so here he's saying, I've read every single word of a report and I'm going to accept a recommendation. That is the right thing to do on the basis of what she has put in her audit. I asked her to do that job to double check on this. She's done that job for me, and having read a report, I shall now implement her recommendations. Well, hang on a minute. Why? Again, Keir Starmer turning around earlier on this year. All his Labour cronies turning around earlier on this year. All the MPs that voted against us earlier on this year for a national inquiry into these Muslim rape gangs, right? They're all adamant, we don't need a national inquiry, we don't need a national inquiry. Again, this makes no damn sense when he's turning then round and saying, I asked her to do that job to double check on this. Double check on what? If Keir Starmer and his freaking cronies were that adamant that a national inquiry wasn't required, why double check in the first place? Why? Why? Again, makes no damn sense whatsoever. Now, before we get into it further, let's see what you guys are saying. So we have Nina C saying he's trying to fish for votes that are never coming back now. Yeah. Dude's realised he's made a big, massive mistake with all of this, as he has done with everything else that he's tried to do with this country. He now realises, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, that Reform UK is a force to be reckoned with. And so he's now trying, essentially, their approach, but in a Labourite way. Yeah, I'm seeing through it, aren't you? Sheila Karen says, too little too late. The damage has affected too many victims and their families. He just wants to make it look like something is being done. It isn't. Yeah. I mean, this is a thing, right? It's all good and well turning around and saying he's going to launch a new inquiry into the Muslim rape gangs, but believe it when we see it, and then let's see the veracity of this national inquiry. How deep are they going to go to root out the corruption and the criminality on the part of the police, the councils, the authorities, and even, and again, it's all alleged, of course, the MPs themselves, the politicians themselves, right? This is going all the way to the top. All the way to the top. Richard Shields says, how long will it take to set up? Watch the possible resignations, and how much stuff will possibly be shredded or gone missing, just like the COVID inquiry. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a big step that we're hearing from Keir Starmer that he's announced this new national inquiry. But yeah, how much can we trust it when it does go into action and the inquiry then is happening and it's ongoing, this, that, and the other, right? How transparent are they going to be as well? Because I've got a funny feeling that when this inquiry is done, right, and it's over, that they're going to publish the report. But I don't know why. I've just got this funny feeling that a lot of this report is going to be redacted on the grounds of national security or anti-terrorism security, whatever the frick you want to call it. I don't know, but I've just got this funny feeling in my head that they're going to try and pull that kind of BS. I mean, what do you guys think? Again, if you're watching live, let me know in the live chat. Louise Granger is an absolute bum wipe, another U-turn. Yeah. Now, in all honesty, and as ever, I keep it 100 with you guys, it is another U-turn, but at least it's another U-turn in the right direction. The problem is, what's he going to do now? Yeah, it's all good and well saying you're going to launch a new national inquiry, but is the will really, really there to get to the truth? I don't think so. I believe, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, the Labour cronies, the politicians, the establishment, the whole lot have tried their hardest to cover this thing up. I really do believe that. They've tried so hard to try and cover it up, and then all of a sudden, they're launching a new national inquiry. Yeah. How strong is the will in this new national inquiry to get to the truth? I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, this could just end up being a little bit of, let's say, a plaster for them to turn around and say, yeah, we did a new national inquiry, we did what you wanted, this, that, and the other, but they never really got to the truth of the matter. it's one of those things. Do you see where I'm coming from? It's like they're trying to paper over the cracks potentially with this. I mean, time will tell, but I'm very, very skeptical on this. I welcome the news. I'm very excited about it, but I'm also highly skeptical given Keir Starmer and his cronies' past behaviour on this whole thing and how strongly they were against it all, right? There was that vote at the beginning of the year. They all freaking voted no against it. Come on. Now all of a sudden they've got the will to get to the truth of the matter. The dirty, ugly, honest truth of it all. Yeah, count me skeptical in it all. That is for damn certain. Nigel says, it will be fudged. Too many Labour votes at stake. Yeah. This is why I'm very skeptical of it. This national inquiry, is this going to be a proper national inquiry? Or, as Nigel is eloquently putting it, will it be fudged? Yeah. Again, I welcome the news, but I'm extremely skeptical. Very, very skeptical. Paula W., exactly. Why now? I wonder why after so long. About damn time. Yeah. Lindy, you've got a good point, Lindy. Will Tommy Robinson now be recognised for bringing these rape gangs to our attention years ago? Guess not. No. They'll still paint him as the extreme right-wing boogeyman when he isn't. Now, I heard something on the internet, and usually I like to credit where I hear stuff from, but for the life of me, I can't remember. But it was on Twitter, anywho. And there was someone that turned around and said, I'm not far right, I'm just right. I'm thinking of doing a t-shirt on it, do you know what I mean? Like, to me, it's so true. I'm not far right, I'm just right. Yeah. Yeah. So for Tommy Robinson, he's not far right, he's just right. He's just right. And the thing that really kind of grinds my gears in all of this is that all this opposition against, the inquiry and all this lot, they're not just opposing the inquiry there, they're opposing all the child victims of it. It's absolutely disgusting. Disgusting. John Johnson, this is a very good joke. Lord Ali must have suggested it during their pillow talk. You guys seem to have a sense of humour. I'm certainly appreciating that. Okay, so I've read a few of your comments so far. So let's get back into the details of what we know so far about this, okay? Keep your comments coming in the live chat. So the 200-page report is going to be published next week. So guys, make sure if you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel, because as soon as that report is released, you know what? I'm going to go live again and we're going to go through it live. You're going to get my instant reactions. I'm going to get your thoughts on it in real time. And we'll see what this report really says when we get down to the bones of it. But the report is expected to warn that white British girls were institutionally ignored for fear of racism. Now, it's great that a report is now officially saying that, but my response to that is no freaking shit, Sherlock. No freaking shit, Sherlock. It's what's been said for years. But do you know what? Better late than never, right? That these dumbasses actually catch up with the reality, the dark, disgusting nightmare reality that white British underage girls have had to go through in this country. And do you know what? We're not talking hundreds. We're not talking thousands, tens of thousands here. I've seen commentary online, right, from reputable sources. We're talking at least hundreds of thousands of white British underage girls being victims of these vile gangs. This is insane. Now, the other thing that I've heard, and I think, my apologies if I'm saying the wrong source here. I think this was actually from Sammy Woodhouse on Twitter. Make sure you subscribe to her. She's one of the OGs in this sphere, and my goodness, what an absolute hero and role model she is to me. Anywho, I think she was the one that turned round and said that we don't even know the half of it publicly as to what's been going on. Now, there's been the way that she said it and the way I interpreted it was that there's been a lot of focus on these, rape gangs in Oldham and other places. But interestingly enough, I think she turned around and said that, I think it's Bradford. She says, Bradford, it'll blow everything out of the water. If you think Oldham's bad, you have no idea what's been going on for decades in Bradford. So there are other cities that have been blighted by this absolute disease. And it's all quiet on mainstream media front, on the politicians front. If what Sammy's saying is true, oh my goodness, Oldham is absolutely horrific. But she, I think, is insinuating that Bradford's like 10 times worse. Shiz the freaking bed. Shiz the freaking bed indeed. Now, one person that's familiar with the report that's coming out next week said it details the institutional failures in treating young girls and cites a decade of lost action from the J Review that was set up back in 2014 to investigate the grooming gangs in Rotherham. The report is also expected to link illegal immigration with the exploitation of young girls. Again, no freaking shit, Sherlock! Shiz the freaking bed. We've been saying now, right, either privately or publicly for eons, yeah, that all the illegal immigrants that are breaking into our country, yeah, a high proportion of them, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, anywho, right, they have a culture and a belief system that does not jive, does not integrate with British culture and Western values. I mean, I see it pretty much every single day on Twitter, clips of these illegal immigrants and those that, wouldn't you have had it, of Muslim faith, right? And they get caught meeting up or trying to meet up with underage white female girls, and they turn around and they say, oh, I didn't know it was illegal. Oh, I didn't know it was illegal. I didn't know that they're considered underage here, blah, 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 blah. You freaking what? What? There was a couple that I've seen where, they actually, these monsters actually did it, right? Yeah? And they turn around and they say, oh, I didn't know that me raping underage little girls was illegal here. I'm absolutely flabbergasted with it. I'm absolutely flabbergasted with it. And for those that don't know, I have been extremely candid over the years on my main channel, Steph the Alternerd. If you guys want to subscribe over there, you can do so. I'm also a nerd when it comes to royal news. So, yeah, if you want to go over there, absolutely fine. But I've been very, very candid over the years on that channel, and I will be here as well with you guys. Now, I am not a victim of rape gangs. Let me be very, very clear on that, okay? But unfortunately, when I was a little girl, I was repeatedly raped and sexually molested. And so, even though I'm not a victim of rape gangs, again, let me be very, very clear on that, I am a victim of childhood rape and childhood molestation. And so this situation hits me hard. It hits me hard because I am a survivor of child rape and child molestation. And my goodness, I feel so much for the little girls out there and those that have had to grow up and live with it and, become adults. I feel for them so much. I really, really do. It's an absolute nightmare. It really is, to try and make heads and tails of it, to try and make any sense of it whatsoever. Now, thank goodness, right, that when I was going through it, I eventually was able to get a support system. You know, I was able to get psychotherapy. I even tried hypnotherapy at one point. I had a social worker. The school that I was at the time was providing me with support. My family and my friends provided me with support. Shiz the freaking bed. The victims of these rape gangs had zero support. And every single institution that they were supposed to rely on, you know, expectedly, right? It's rational. You rely on the institutions to help you when you're in trouble, right? All those institutions that the victims of the rape gangs were supposed to rely on, those institutions let them down. Let them down. Shiz the freaking bed. When I was going through what I was going through, if those institutions that I had to rely on at the time let me down, I don't think I'd be here right now. I don't. I really, really do not think I would be here right now. Hands down. Hands down. They have had to deal with this being ignored. There's an article that's gone out and it's going viral at the moment over the last couple of days. The authorities were calling 10-year-olds that were caught with these rape gangs freaking prostitutes. Freaking prostitutes. I mean, where does that happen? Why does that happen? How can you call a 10-year-old a freaking prostitute? You see a little child being involved, right, with these adult Muslim males. And the institution's response is, no, they're not victims of child molestation or rape whatsoever. Oh, no, 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 no. There's a simpler explanation. No, they're freaking prostitutes. Excuse me? What the frick? I feel for these survivors of rape gangs. Because where I was lucky enough to have the support from the various institutions that were around me to get it through it, these victims had nothing. And the institutions that were supposed to protect them, supposed to fight their corner, supposed to help them, deserted them at the hour that they were needed the freaking most. All because allegedly they were scared of being seen as racist. F that BS. F that BS. They were fearful of being seen as somehow racist and chose that instead of protecting our British underage little freaking children. Oh my goodness. But now you know, right, a little bit of what I unfortunately had to go through as a child, right? Hopefully you guys have got a little bit more of an understanding as to why I'm so freaking pissed at this, so angry and so passionate about this story. Because this is speaking to me on another level. It really is. And so, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Report is also expected to link illegal immigration with the exploitation of young girls. Like I said, I see it all the time on Twitter, these clips. They're turning round and they're saying, oh, I didn't know it was illegal over here to rape underage British white little girls. The frick? Do you know what? Whenever I go to a country, and this is true, I'm not even BSing you, right? Whenever I go to a country and I'm not fully aware of their laws and culture, guess what? I research it first. I research it first. I do. It's one of the reasons why I won't go to places like Dubai or the UAE. Because yes, they've got their laws, they've got their culture, and I completely respect that, right? but I'm so Western in my own values for obvious reasons, born in the West, hello, I would be shiz scared of breaking their laws. Accidentally, that is, right? And so why aren't all these illegal immigrants that are coming over and breaking into our country, why aren't they doing a little bit of research on the UK at the very least? I mean, they've all got phones, right? We all know they've all got phones. They've all got smartphones. They're all hooked up to the internet. Interesting, right? Why can't they go on their phones and Google British society, British culture, British laws? What's legal and what's not? Why don't they do that? I mean, they've got all the time in the world whilst they're in that dinghy, crossing over the English Channel, breaking into our country. Why don't they do a little bit of research into our own laws? No, they're going to cry ignorance and hope that the authorities protect them because they're illegal Muslim immigrants. Well, the joke's on us because they're right. They're right. They do get protected, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, because they are illegal Muslim immigrants. There is a two-tier system in this country. And for anyone that's turning around and saying there isn't, open your freaking damn eyes. I did a video earlier on this week, AY Audits. He went into one of those illegal immigrant hotels, walked out, absolutely fine. But one of them comes over in front of the police officers that were there and assaulted him. And guess what? You'd think after that assault, that illegal immigrant would get arrested, put in jail and deported. Not a chance. Didn't get arrested. Didn't even get a warning or a caution. The police just let him back in to hotel and then that were it. Joke's on freaking us, I'm telling you. Now, let's get back to the Muslim rape gang national inquiry that Keir Starmer has announced he's going to launch, because this gets even more scary. So, Sammy Woodhouse, make sure you're following her on Twitter at official Sammy UK, says an anti-racism coordinator was attending Rotherham Council strategy meeting specifically concerning a 14-year-old white female victim of sexual exploitation by a Pakistani Muslim rapist. They cared more about racism than about the children being groomed, raped, tortured, trafficked, impregnated and criminalised. There you go. And she's retweeting this tweet from the rape gang inquiry that she's involved in. What? What? I wonder if Keir Starmer's new national inquiry into the Muslim rape gangs is going to uncover some more of this. I wonder. What do you guys think? Now, before we go any further, let's get into a little bit of what you guys are saying in the live chat. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. Some of you guys have been extremely generous. King Bob, thank you so much for the $2. Nina C, thank you so much for gifting 5 political nerds some memberships. That's very kind of you. And Susan, thank you so much for the £4.99 super chat. Very, very generous and kind of you guys. Thank you so much. I was a little bit nervous actually going live for the first time on this channel. I go live on all the time on my main one, but this is my first time on this channel, so I'm a little bit nervous. So thanks so much for all you guys' support. I appreciate it. Let's see, the Outer Limits saying, Steph, always remain a survivor, not a victim. That way you are in control and can steer your way forward in a positive manner. Oh, yeah. I label myself as a survivor now. Hands down, I'm a survivor. Now, personally for me, it's not something that you can overcome. That kind of thing that happens to you, you can't overcome it. What you can do is you can learn to survive with it. And you can learn to live with it, and you can learn to excel in life in spite of it, right? So yeah, I agree, Outer Limits. Let's see. Sprouthead in Gardenville. Steph, can you give me a shout out, please? My name's Dino, long-time watcher, first-time liver, LOL. You're doing sterling work for us and we're proud of you. Oh, well, thank you so much. It's very kind of you to say. Hey up, Dino. First-time liver. Do you know what? this is my first time live on this channel as well, so we've got something in common, right? Let's see. Zarek149 says, Muslims in Afghanistan and Iraq were renowned for raping boys and girls. British soldiers were aware of the practices but could do nothing. When marrying a young girl, they would anally, do them. Yeah. This is the thing. As sad as it is, right, and as heinous as it is, and as despicable as it is, other countries have their own laws and their own culture, right? No matter how much we may disagree with it, on every single freaking level. That also means that we also have our own laws and our own culture here. And the one thing that we don't stand for, or we're not supposed to stand for, right, is the rape of underage children in this country. We have laws against that. Why the frick have they allowed these evil to get away with it for so long? When I say so long, again, we're talking decades here. Decades. Cal Bailey says, let's hope things are done properly, or will they lie about the results? Your guess is as good as mine. To Letha34, Starmer is all words. He's trying to convince the working classes on our side. He's not. Well, this is the thing, right? Because this comes only after a couple of weeks since he turned round and he said that, yes, we need to be harsher and harder with our borders. Him and someone else from the government, and again I reported it on this channel, turned around and said that, yeah, we have lost control of our borders and we need to take a tougher stance on it. Well, do you know what? Let me make a suggestion to those two dimwits. Stop sending millions and millions of freaking pounds, hundreds of millions, to the freaking French authorities, because they're doing naff all, right? Thanks to GB News, we know exactly what they're doing. They're standing on the freaking beaches just watching the dinghies come to us. That's exactly what they're doing. They're not stopping shiz. Like, Keir Starmer's not breaking the gangs. The French aren't freaking doing shiz themselves. They're just watching the boats freaking float away. Because as far as I'm concerned, they're doing that for one reason, right? They're relieved to see the freaking back of them. Because they're probably turning around and thinking, well, it's Britain's problem now, not ours. Thank frick for that. No. We're paying the French to freaking make action to stop these boats from coming in the first place. They're not stopping anything. And to be fair, when you look at the statistics, really, what are they stopping? Because ultimately, we're seeing record numbers. It was only, yesterday that 1,000 had crossed over and broken into our country. Record numbers. So, the French are doing nothing. The French are doing nothing. They're letting more of them come over, as far as I'm concerned. And they're laughing at us because they're letting them come over and they're freaking taking our money at the same time. This is an absolute freaking con. They're conning us. Because ultimately, we're the taxpayer that's paying for this. It's insane. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Phil Jones, half the battle, we have to make sure this inquiry is open and public. Like I said at the beginning of all of this, I got a funny feeling that when this inquiry is published, right, there's going to be a few things that are going to be redacted for national security measures or, anti-terrorism measures, right? Best believe. I think that's going to happen. I'd be surprised if it don't. I'd be surprised if the report comes through and nothing's redacted. Be pleasantly surprised. Original Lenny says, no, he's going to do a typical cover-up story. If not, there would have been a completely independent inquiry. No, his plan is too busy getting his rent boys under control. His alleged rent boys under control. There you go. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Wedgie says, Two-Tier has no choice now. He'll do anything to try and win Peep's confidence back. It's too late. The public do not want Libre. Never seen out like this in my life. It's batshit Britain. Up, Steph. Yeah. This is absolutely unprecedented. failure of leadership on the part of Keir Starmer and the Labour government. Hands down. Hands down. Let's see. John Johnson says, I've seen countless videos of Pakistani men hanging around children's parks with mobile phones, and they're always allowed to just walk away. Why not at least tag them so we know where they are? Yeah. Gareth Williams says, is he going to U-turn on this? I think it's going to be a whitewash with Labour ignoring the elephant in the room. Oh, yeah. And this is why I say the breaking news that Keir Starmer is going to launch a new national inquiry into the rape gangs, that's welcome news, don't get me wrong, but let's be real on this. How strong is the will in this inquiry to actually get to the dirty, ugly, nightmarish truth to it all? How strong are their stomachs, really, at the end of the day? I don't think it's that strong, do you? Time will tell. Time will tell. Oh, a lot of guys are saying I'm doing a great job so far. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's very kind of you to say. Samantha Hardy says, Steph, I too am angry about what's happening to the girls and the cover-ups for similar reasons to yourself. I called Childline as I thought they would help me. They didn't. Oh, bloody hell. I'm so sorry. You went somewhere where you thought reasonably you would get some assistance and they didn't help at all. What is the freaking point? What's the point? Do you know what? Tear down all the institutions, build them back up again. They're all freaking corrupt. All of them, inherently corrupt. I fear this is just going to be a plaster at this point, and it's not really going to fix anything. See. Andrew says, all this time with the audit was to set up how they'll fix the inquiry. And that, you see, this is what I'm scared of. You know, they were so adamant at the beginning of this year that the national inquiry wasn't needed. And then all of a sudden they do a U-turn. They say, yeah, a national inquiry is needed. Well, if you were so strong against it earlier on this year, how can I believe that you're now going to be so strong for it at this point? You see where I'm coming from? I'm very sceptical. I'm welcoming the news, don't get me wrong. But time will tell. I've got my sceptical glasses on here. Gaz P, thank you so much for the £5 super chat saying, sorry to hear about your personal trauma, but glad to see you spitting facts. Keep it up. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It is what it is. It is what it is. But I use what happened to me now as a source of strength rather than something that's going to bring me down. I refuse to let it bring me down. Refuse. Tracy Floyd says, we want a refund from France. Frick yes! Frick yes! I'd turn round to fricking Macron and be like, I want a refund, mate. All those hundreds of millions that you've taken from the British taxpayer to stop the dinghies, he's not stopping shit. I want a refund. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'd want a refund. Totally. Andrew says, how has the dangerous English Channel become a safe puddle? I don't know. But another question I've got is, how do these illegal immigrants get their hands on fancy phones, smartphones, and dinghies, and the clothes that are needed for it all? How are they getting the hands on all of it? Someone's supplying them that shit. I know it ain't me. I know it's not me. Joe says, thing that makes me laugh is Ireland is now super peed off that they're getting a huge influx and they're terrified, nowhere to go after Ireland. Well, Ireland's had enough, right? Northern Ireland in particular, we're seeing everything that's coming out of Ballymena and all them lot, right? They've had enough. The straw has broken the camel's back, and the people in Northern Ireland are letting the authorities know that they've had enough and something has to change. And I, again, reported on it earlier on this week. And I actually turned around and I said, you know what? I'm fearful that England is going in that similar direction. There's going to be a point where the straw's going to break the camel's back, and there's going to be mass protests absolutely everywhere in this country, to the point where the government will interpret that as somehow being riots, and then we enter into a stage of some kind of quasi-martial law in this country. Because best believe, Keir Starmer and his Labour cronies last year termed what happened in Southport as the Southport riots. But I never call them the Southport riots. I call them the Southport protests. But do you see, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, how the government uses language to demonise its own people? Government's supposed to work for us, not against us. So let's get on to a little bit more information that I've got for you guys. So here, will Starmer's new national inquiry look into this as well? This is from the Rape Gang Inquiry. Read, digest, understand. This has happened in towns and cities all across our country for decades, and it continues today. And so they're sharing this testimony from one of the survivors of the rape gang, saying, when I was abducted at 14 years old and pregnant, a female assailant working with my rapist called social services and asked if she could become my legal carer. She agreed with the social worker that she would inform my parents and the police that I was safe. If you don't feel sick right now, T-minus 3, 2, 1, feel freaking sick to your stomach. What this is saying is that the victim's rapist, someone that knew the rapist, a female, right, closely linked, went to the authorities, right, and wanted to legally, and this is my interpretation of it, legally separate the child victim from her parents and turn around and say, I'll look after her. Yeah. That, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, that's my interpretation of this. Yeah. And from what I can gather from this, the authorities agreed. So long as the rapist female's friend, assailant, whatever, informed the police from time to time that she was safe. Yeah. Of course this female assailant working with a rapist would go to the police every now and then and say that the child victim is safe, whilst the rapist is doing monstrous things to her. I couldn't think that the situation with the rape gangs could get any worse. Oh, it did. It just did. The authorities, in some cases, allowed these child victims to be legally placed in the care of someone that was closely linked to their own rapist. What? But again, asking for a friend, will Keir Starmer's new national inquiry look into this and delve into this and see how the frick this could even happen in the first place? This isn't just appalling. This is horrific. But again, do you think Keir Starmer's new national inquiry into the rape gangs is going to look into this? And not only look into it, but really investigate and find out the dirty, ugly, nightmarish truth about it all? I got a funny feeling Starmer doesn't have the stomach for it. What do you guys think? Now, this whole national inquiry, as you may have heard from earlier on, that Keir Starmer has announced is off of the back of the grooming gangs review by Baroness Casey. And so GB News national reporter Charlie Peters has warned that Baroness Casey's upcoming grooming gangs report could, quote, shock the nation, with findings so severe that the government fears potential civil unrest. Speaking on GB News, Charlie said there's reports saying that there's nervousness inside government, particularly in Downing Street, that this report could spark civil unrest. Its contents are said to be so stark and so severe that the findings will shock the nation. Well, tell us the findings. I want to know what's in this report next week. And make sure, guys, that you are subscribed to Political Nerds, because as soon as that report comes out, do you know what? I'm going to go live again. I'm going to go through it all live. You're going to get my honest first-time reaction to it all. I'm going to be chatting with you guys in the live chat like I'm doing right now. Get your thoughts on it all. But, yeah, I don't think it's going to be reading for the faint-hearted. That is for damn certain. But to me, I think Keir Starmer was forced into announcing a new national inquiry into the rape gangs because Baroness Casey in her report, I think, has backed him and his Labour cronies into a corner. Because now he can turn around and he can say, oh my goodness, the contents are so stark and so severe, we're going to look into it more. I mean, think about it. If it was the other way around, right, and Baroness Casey's report comes out next week, and the contents are so stark and so severe that Keir Starmer didn't announce for a new national inquiry, oh my goodness, I know what I'd be saying. I'd be saying he's ignoring it yet again. And it would be really bad for him to ignore that. So he's making a very smart political play here by announcing a new national inquiry into the rape gangs before Baroness Casey's report becomes public. It's a smart political play, let's give him that. But it would have been dumb for him not to do it in the first place, because then he would be accused of ignoring it all. You see where I'm coming from, guys? He's not launching this new national inquiry because he thinks it's the right thing to do. He's not doing that, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. He's doing it because he's been backed into a corner because of Baroness Casey's inquiry and the contents in it. He has no other choice at this point, because if he doesn't and the report comes out, he'd be absolutely undrawn and quartered for freaking ignoring it and not having a national inquiry at that point, with the contents quoted to be so stark and so severe that the findings will shock the nation. So anyone out there, right, that's thinking, oh, Keir Starmer has seen the light, he's launching the new national inquiry into the Muslim rape gangs because he's finally realised that it's the right thing to do. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Do not fool yourself. Do not kid yourself. He ain't doing it, in my opinion, conspiracy theory or whatever, because he thinks it's the right thing to do, to have a national inquiry. He's doing it now because he's got no other choice. He's being backed into a corner. Simples. End of. Here we've got Sammy Woodhouse. So she's commenting on this tweet from the rape gang inquiry that I showed you a few moments ago, right? Perpetrators and gang members were attempting to gain custody of the children they were abusing. They were bold enough to contact social services and the police to arrange meetings to ensure they had a legal right to children. Now, I would tack on to the end of that. They were bold enough to contact social services and the police to arrange meetings to ensure they had a legal right to children that they could continue to abuse and neglect. Yeah. Sickening. Absolutely sickening. Thank goodness for Rupert Law that he took the initiative After our government, after our politicians betrayed us in January when they initially rejected a national inquiry and we were screaming for it. Thank goodness for Rupert Law for taking the initiative to arrange the public but privately funded, public funded, whatever you want to call it, right? Rape gang inquiry. Thank goodness. But where does that leave us with Keir Starmer's new national inquiry? Do you think it'll go into as much detail as Rupert Law's rape gang inquiry and even more, because Keir Starmer's national inquiry will have more powers to be able to compel people to provide evidence? I'd hope so, but I'm very sceptical. Someone only a few months back saying they were adamant a national inquiry was not needed, all of a sudden, out of the blue, to be like, yeah, we're going to launch a new national inquiry. Why the U-turn? Again, he ain't doing it out of the goodness of his heart. He ain't doing it, in my opinion, conspiracy theory or whatever, because he thinks it's the right thing to do. He's doing it to try and save his skin. He's doing it because he's got no other freaking option. And to me, that is not the right intention, to be launching a national inquiry into rape gangs. And it's not the right intention. And so then it makes me question, well, how much veracity will this new national inquiry have? How strong will their will be to really want to get down to the dirty, ugly, nightmarish truth of it all? What do you guys think? Let's see what you guys are saying in the live chat. So let's see. Paranormal Channel says, sorry, I didn't know you were live. Good evening, everyone. Hey up, Paranormal Channel. Yeah, I'm live for the first time here on Political Nerds. I thought it was really, really important for me to go live with this breaking news with Keir Starmer announcing that he's launched a new national inquiry into the Muslim rape gangs. I felt it was the right thing to do. Come on, straight away, give you guys the breaking news, give you guys my commentary, what I think about it, and, you know, for us to have a little bit of a discussion, because I do think this is a watershed moment for the whole rape gang crisis that we're unfortunately suffering here in the UK. However, it's also important to have a very open, public discussion about this announcement, what it really means, what we really think about it all, you know what I mean? Jane says, I'm disgusted beyond words. Yeah. Let's see. Terry McDonald, yeah, a social worker went to a wedding of the abuser and the victim. Didn't that happen in Oldham, if I remember rightly? Just a funny feeling that happened in Oldham. I may be mistaken, to be fair. But yeah. Stevie, Starmer couldn't investigate his own lunchbox. Yeah. Yeah. Jew Beaumont says, I don't trust Keir Starmer one bit. Me neither. I really don't. Yeah. Peter Gray says, wow, I'm sick of hearing this all over the country. Who is here for us as white British? This isn't good. No, it's not. It's not. It feels like we get penalised because we're white British. It feels like we are second-class citizens because we're white British. Let's put it this way. The video that I did earlier on this week, right, where AY Audits got attacked by an illegal immigrant throwing a cup of hot coffee all over his face, right? AY Audits, in that clip, turned round to police and said, so if I did the same thing to him, I'd get arrested, right? Now, I'm paraphrasing here. And the police were like, yeah. Yeah. So if we commit assault, yeah, the white British, quite rightly, of course, we get arrested, we get charged, we get convicted. Okay, fine, yeah? But if an illegal immigrant does the same thing on camera in front of the police, they do naff all. They do naff all. So I think it's quite reasonable to even think or believe that as white British, we're now second-class citizens to people that are not even from this country in the first place, that are broken into our country, that with them being here, they're committing an illegal act just by being here in the first place. But no, we're second citizens to them. Please make that make sense. Have I just woken up into upside down world? What the frick? Am I still in the UK? Am I still in England? I don't know anymore. I really don't. The country is changing before our very eyes into something that I just cannot recognise anymore. More and more I go out and I'm scared. I do get a little bit scared now going out. Isn't it funny though? Not to be too feminist, because, you know, there's a lot of problems with that crew, but isn't it funny that the majority of all of this, the women are the ones to suffer? Susan says, we've all had enough of this government. Oh, yeah. The next general election couldn't come soon enough. I don't know if we could actually... do you know what? I've actually got a question for you guys in the live chat. Let me know. I really, really want to know what you guys think to this. Do you think Britain can survive another 4 more years of Keir Starmer and Labour in power? As it stands. Do you think that? Because personally for me, I really, really don't. I really, really do not think that the UK can survive another 4 more years with Keir Starmer and Labour in power. Now, there are talks that they're trying to oust Keir Starmer and replace him with none other than freaking Angela Rayner. They just don't have a clue, do they? Either way, I do not believe that the country can survive another more 4 years with Labour in power. Not a freaking chance. Not a chance. We need a general election tomorrow. We really do. I mean, Labour in their manifesto promised so many things and they've broken every single one of them. To me, they've committed fraud on the whole country by promising so much and then not doing what they promised to do in the first place. That's my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think we can survive another 4 more years of Labour being in power? Because I really don't. I really, really do not think that at all. Darren Bradby says, 2 tiers, that's sick in the head. He'll probably put a new line on the pride flag so they can all walk away free. I won't put it past him. Tommy Mason, political nerds, you did a great job on the AY video. It wasn't until the video went viral that the top dogs in the police contacted AY. Just shows the power of people like you. Oh, well, that's brilliant. It's brilliant the police contacted AY. However, for me personally, too little, too late. They should have taken action at the time when it freaking happened in the first place, in front of their faces. In front of their faces. Now, I'm not going to say their name, but I have quite a number of friends on YouTube. A lot of them are actually lawyers and solicitors. And I contacted one of them and I asked about AY Audit's video, actually. And I sent them it. And I was like, they've just witnessed an assault, the police. It's even caught on camera as well. Yet the police did naff all. Did the police break any laws? And I was just wondering on that. And my mate, he came round and he said, it's a power to arrest rather than an obligation, but it could well fall foul of professional standards and neglect of duty under Police Conduct Regs 2020. Yeah. So the police, even when they witness, right, an assault being carried out by an illegal immigrant, right, against one of our own, a British person, yeah, they are prepared to potentially break professional standards and neglect of duty under Police Conduct Regs 2020. They're prepared to potentially break all of that to ensure that the illegal immigrant still walks free and has no consequences to them whatsoever. You still believe that the institution is there to protect us? Not a chance. Jared Precy, thank you so much for the £5 super chat, saying Starmer will never do anything for the national good without being forced. Yeah. And this ultimately is kind of like my assessment of it all. He's not doing it out of the good of his own heart. He's not doing it because he thinks it's the right thing to do. He's doing it because he's been put in a corner by Baroness Case's report that's going to be released next week. He has to do the inquiry now, because if he doesn't, then he's accused of ignoring even Baroness Case's report, which apparently is going to shock everyone once it becomes public next week. He has to do it now. JH, Tommy Robinson for Prime Minister. I won't be opposed to that. I won't. DSL, our women need protecting and are vulnerable and need suffering and sting through NHS waiting times and failures. Yeah. In other words, let's stop spending the billions on illegal immigrants, right? As soon as they come here, deport them back from where they came from, and all the billions that are wasting on them, let's put it back into the NHS. Let's put it back into the vulnerable. Instead of, let's reduce benefits for the vulnerable. No, increase them for the vulnerable, because let's put it this way. I'm more than happy, right, for my tax to go to the vulnerable that need it the most, right, the British vulnerable, rather than illegal immigrants that shouldn't even be here in the first place. That just by being here, they're committing an illegal act. Every moment, every single day. Do you agree? Disagree? What do you guys think? Yeah, a lot of you guys are saying, hell no, we won't be able to survive another 4 years of Keir Starmer and Labour in power. Ginver, though, says, just about will survive the 4 years, but recovery will take a long time. Yeah, I think so. I think that whenever Labour are removed from power, in a peaceful, legal, political sense, all right, whenever that happens, I do think it'll be a while before we recover. Because I truly believe that Labour, Keir Starmer and his freaking cronies are committing acts against us, the British people and this country, and the trauma that we're having to go through with what Keir Starmer and the Labour cronies are doing against us. I think that will take a long time to recover from. I do. Totally. JH is like, no, Angela Rayner, please not. Yeah. As only one Steve London says, they're going to replace him with another moron. Because everyone in Labour are morons as far as I'm concerned at this point. Yeah. Lone Gun Women 2954 says, Angela Rayner is as bad as Mr. Starmer. The whole bunch of cronies are unfit for office. Agreed. Tommy Robinson suffered for this. Yeah, he did. And let me be, again, clear on this. For years, right, I drunk the Kool-Aid and believed that Tommy Robinson was far right, that he was bad, this, that, and the other, right? I believed the mainstream media on that. And I'm ashamed that I was that susceptible to believe mainstream media on that. It wasn't until last year, with the Southport protests, that I then begun to understand that Tommy Robinson is not the enemy. He's not the far-right boogie monster. All these years, he's been saying the truth, that for Parliament and for those in power, it was too inconvenient for them. And so they tried to silence him and smack him down in any which way that they could, both legally and reputationally. I drunk that Kool-Aid. I believed all that. Until, as I said, the Southport protests. Why? Because I was seeing a number of things. The first thing was that the government and the mainstream media were turning around and saying that Tommy Robinson was encouraging the Southport protests to be violent. No, he didn't. I actually watched, I would like to say, I think 99% of all the Twitter clips and all the tweets that he put out during that whole period. And in every single clip that I watched from him, he was at pains to say, be peaceful. Don't attack the police. Don't attack anyone. Don't give them what they want. Show up, but be peaceful about it. And so for the mainstream media and the government to turn around and say that Tommy Robinson was trying to encourage violence during the Southport protests, I was like, no, he's not. Then I saw the journalism that he was doing, and it was speaking to me because I was like, if I'm going to look at this critically, can I disagree with him on anything here? Is he making a buttload of sense on his journalism, on the interviews that he was doing? And I couldn't disagree with him. He spits out facts, and he provides evidence to back himself up. And then, during that whole period, the government and the mainstream media were then trying to blame the Southport protests on the EDL, the English Defence League, which made no damn sense because they haven't been in existence for like nearly 10 years or so. But again, it was another way for the mainstream media to not only demonise us all as far right, but also to demonise Tommy Robinson because of his links back in the day with the EDL. And so I looked at all that and so much more that was going on during that period. And I was like, shiz the freaking bed. I got it wrong about Tommy Robinson. He's not the enemy. He's not the enemy. He's not this far-right buggy monster that the mainstream media and the government want to make him out to be, this, that and the other. No. All he's been trying to do for years is open our eyes to the injustice that's been going on against the British people for decades. For decades. And so, yeah, I am happy to say that I am no longer drinking the Kool-Aid. And, yeah, do you know what? I support Tommy Robinson. I like him because he says it as it is. And he don't mince his words and he gets straight to the point. Can't say anything fairer than that. DSL says the so-called people who you're meant to protect are out to ruin us. Yeah. 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 Johnny says, Starmer smashing the people smuggling gangs. Yeah, right. He's just made it legal to smuggle them here himself. He's been in on the migrant smuggling the old time, I bet. Well, there's something to be said about the potential involvement of the deep state. That's for damn sure on all of this. G. Christie says, why do we need a national inquiry? Sadiq Khan denied that the gangs exist. I know, right? This is why I was saying earlier on. Can we really trust the veracity of this new national inquiry? How strong is the will of this national inquiry to really get down to the ugly, nightmarish truth of it all? Time will tell. But I refuse, just on a side note, to address Sadiq Khan as Sir Sadiq Khan. Nah. No. That's a freaking joke. You look at the state of London. Why is Sadiq Khan getting celebrated by becoming a Sir for that? BS. Don't have any respect from me whatsoever. John Russell says they're kicking the can down the road. The inquiry will take 10 years. Potentially. Sorry, I've just got a text from a mate of mine, YouTuber mate. Just give me a moment. Make sure you actually subscribe to him. His name's Trevor Colt. He is a veteran, and oh my goodness, if you like my delivery and how I do things, you're gonna love our Trev as well. He keeps it honest. He says it as it is. He won't mince his words. You'll have a lot of respect for him. I'm telling you that right now. There we go. Okay, so, well, let's see what he. Interesting. All right, anyway, there you go. Make sure you subscribe to me good mate Trev here on YouTube. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Captain Pugwash saying, brilliant stuff, Steph. Absolutely brilliant. You really should do this more often. We need to hear your views on the inquiry next week. Do you know what? I'm gonna as soon as, right, Baroness Case's report is released, yeah, I'm gonna go live. I'm having so much fun with you guys right now, just chatting in the live chat, that, yeah, I'm gonna go live again. Like I said at the beginning, I was a little bit hesitant, a little bit scared to go live here, because it's my first time live on Political Nerds, but you guys are so welcome and so awesome, so yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Tommy Mason says, come on, chat show, some love for Political Nerds, hit the like button. Yay! Logman UK says, love your channel and content. Oh, thank you. But do you know what? I'm going to be biased and totally agree with you. I love this channel and the content too. But, you know, I'm biased, so, you know. Oh, Ojo says, Khan has knackered London. There's no life there anymore. It's depressing. Yeah. And every time I go down to London, right, more and more, I'm feeling unsafe. When I started going down to London, I was really happy, excited, you know, awesome adventure going to London, seeing the sights and, you know, doing what I was doing for work. Now I still have to go down to London from time to time. But now it's a case of, yeah, I'm a little bit scared. I'm a little bit scared of going down to London. I don't feel as safe as I used to be. Do you guys when you go to London? Sheena Standring says, never believe MSM, the mainstream media, about anything. Oh, yeah. That is definitely a, what is it? A kind of steep curve that you got to learn from. Yeah. DSL says, Tommy will get my vote. He has a heart unlike them cold so-called people. Ginfer, I like this. It's a little bit of a jokey one as well, but Tommy is so far right about everything. Yeah, he is right about everything, isn't he? G. Christie says, let's get this channel up to 50k. Oh, that's so kind of you to say. Thank you so much, G. Christie. I mean, let me just take this moment, reading that comment, just to thank you all for being here for my first ever live stream here on Political Nerds, for subscribing to this channel, for watching my content. I mean, this channel, I only started to upload content on this channel at the beginning of this year, and my goodness, we are already, when I look at our community, we're already like over 27,700 subscribers here in this community, and that's only after like what, 5 months, coming up to 6 months. Like, you guys have come out and supported me and what I'm saying and this channel and this content so much that I'm just blown away. I really am, by all you guys' support. So thank you so much to everyone that's subscribed, everyone that's tuned in right now, everyone that watches my content, that likes my videos and my streams, that comments. You guys are amazing. So thank you so much. And best believe there's more to come with Political Nerds. I am planning to do more live streams here. I'm just kind of figuring out a format and a way of doing things. I like things in an order. That's just kind of like how my mind works, really, to be fair. Let's see. Paulie says, the inquiry will find it's Tommy's fault. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Bill Siege says, Starmer is complicit along with Blair and his close buddy Savile. Starmer needs to say sorry to Tommy Robinson. Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to publicly apologise to Tommy Robinson as well, right here. I never said anything publicly against him, don't get me wrong, but privately I drank the Kool-Aid for a while and believed mainstream media and the government when they were painting him as the far-right monster. I drank that Kool-Aid, and I feel foolish for that, and I apologise. My eyes are very much wide open now. And yeah, I do not trust the establishment, the government, or the mainstream media in any way, shape, or form. Oh my goodness. Let me give you an example. This only happened this week. Now, on my main channel, I had this production company contact me, and I'm going to leave them unnamed and everything, and the channel unnamed. But it was for a mainstream terrestrial channel here in the UK. And they contacted me, and they wanted permission to use a couple of clips from some of my videos that I did over there. I basically turned around and politely told them to F off. I was like, look, thank you so much for coming over to ask me, but no, I do not want you to use my content in any way, shape, or form. I did literally turn around and say, I do not trust mainstream media. And therefore, I do not trust that you would use the clips within the context that they are in, that you'll misconstrue them in some way, shape, or form. And I'm not going to allow you that chance to do it. So, piss off. You're not using any of my content whatsoever. It's just not going to happen. And so, yeah, that's how much I distrust mainstream media and the establishment. When they come over and they ask to use my content, I tell them to go do one. Go do one. Mainstream media is dying anyway. Everyone more and more is turning to the internet to actually get the news and what's really being said out there. Do you know what I mean? DSL says, Tommy is a soldier for the victims and vulnerable women. He's a proud father to daughters like me. I'm with him 100. Yeah. Yeah. What's that? Craig Mawson, Steph, do you think that more rent boys might come out for Starmer? I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised. And let's say alleged rent boys, okay, guys? Alleged. Gordon Hutchinson says, this is spiteful revenge. He's a filthy traitor. The inquiry shouldn't be internal. It should be public. Well, my understanding is it is public. It is. Yes. Advanced Watcher. Yes. Don't forget to follow Raja Mia, Recusant 9, for Rape Gang Information 2. Yes. I follow him. And he's actually starting to do live streams and videos as well on his decade-long investigation into the Muslim rape gangs. To me, like, he is one of the biggest authorities on this. So, yeah, good shout. Make sure you follow Raja Mia as well. Abso-freaking-lutely. DSL says, real talk, we need more women and men to start speaking out like yourself. Yeah. Do you know, this is a thing, right? For those that don't know, and I'm not flexing here, okay, it's just to kind of provide a little bit of a foundation from what I'm about to say next. I have a degree in international relations and security studies. I studied sociology, philosophy, politics for 3 years. I did conflict resolution for 3 years as well. My dissertation was on the ethics and philosophy of international terrorism. And so ultimately, politics is my academic wheelhouse, right? And for a couple of years, I've been starting to feel very, very disgruntled with our politicians, with the government, with everything that's been going on with the illegal immigration, with mainstream media. And the straw that broke the camel's back as to why, in the end, created this second channel, Political Nerds, was this thing where Keir Starmer was locking up people for tweeting hurty words or saying hurty words. And that angered me. And that woke me up inside for me to be like, everything that I'm feeling, everything that I'm thinking is not illegal. It's absolutely natural and fine for me to say these things and to feel these things. So F Starmer, F the government, I'm going to speak out. I'm not going to live in fear. Not a freaking chance. I'm going to speak out. And that's what I'm doing. Now, I always say, do your own research, come to your own conclusions. And as a disclaimer, I'm not inciting hatred to anyone or a particular group, religion, etc. And I do mean that. Because ultimately, all I'm doing is practicing my right to free speech to communicate with you guys what I think and what I feel and what I believe to know. It's up to you to make your own deductions, of course. But I decided on this channel and to do it because he was locking us up for hurty words, right? Locking us British people up for it. And I thought, piss off your car bag. I'm not going to live in fear. I've got something to say. Game on. Game freaking on. And so, yeah, this is why. And the thing is, the more of us that speak out, the more diminished Keir Starmer's power is. Because can't look us all up. There's no spaces. Oh, no, there is. He's just letting out all the rapists and murderers to lock us up, right? But the more that we speak out against the establishment, against our politicians, against government, against mainstream media, the more they can't silence us, the more they can't threaten us, because we're not living in fear anymore. See where I'm coming from? So, yeah, I do think we need more women and men in this country to let go of that fear, overcome that fear, and speak out. What do you guys think? What are you guys feeling? What do you guys propose should happen in this country to make it better? Yeah. Nick Kilcoin says, the judge will be a left-wing activist. No one will be held accountable. No one. Yeah, I'm scared that this national inquiry will be stacked against the truth. I do. I am scared of that. Now, Ginver, you've got a very good point here. This is interesting. Okay, so Ginver is saying if concern about child rape is right-wing issue, then is protecting child rape gangs a left-wing issue? Yeah. Do you know what? When you turn it on its head like that, I can't argue with that. Can you guys? Wow. Yeah. I like that. Jared Precy says, forget 50,000. Let's get to 100,000 on this channel. Well, do you know what? There's only one way that can happen. Make sure that you are subscribed here. Make sure you get your mates, your mum, your dad, your dog, your cat, your alpaca, your elephant, giraffe, the whole freaking zoo to subscribe over here. And we'll get to 100,000 in no time. So there we go. Actually, before I get to more of your comments, I do read a lot of your comments in the videos that I release. And some of you have actually turned around and you're like, hang on a minute, who the hell are you, Steph? Like, you know, you've got this whole setting, you're looking all professional, you've just come out of nowhere, got a silver play button in the back, like, who are you? So for those that don't know, I've actually been on YouTube for about 4 or 5 years now. I have a main channel called Steph the Alternate where I report on royal news, specifically Harry and Meghan, which, by the way, not a big fan of them at all, to say the least. And so, yeah, all of this that you're seeing right here is because I've got a main channel in the first place that I've had for 4 or 5 years where I've been able to build up to what you're seeing now here on Political Nerds. And the silver play button at the back here is for my main channel, which is now over 130,000 subscribers strong. So, yeah, just to clear that up from some of you guys, because I see that comment a lot in the video. So there you go on that score. Alice Liversedge says, hey, sweetie, you're doing great. Thank you. I also drank the Kool-Aid with regards to Tommy. Please, babe, please can you move the can of Coke behind you that's been sitting there for months? Oh, it's... Okay, let me show you, all right? Okay. I'm assuming you're talking about this. It's not actually a can of Coke. It's a plushie. It's a Coke plushie. But I have it in the background because for those that have followed me on the internet for the last few years, you guys know that I do like my Coca-Cola. Not sponsored, but I wouldn't say no. But I've actually changed to Coke Zero over the last year because it's much more, one of a better phrase when you're talking about Coca-Cola, healthier. So yeah, it's not actually a Coca-Cola can, it's a plushie, but there we are. I'll just put it back. There we go. There you are. So let's see what else you guys are saying. Oh, Craig Mawson says, Steph, you and Trevor are awesome. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we are awesome. I'm biased. I'm going to agree with you, of course. Colin Adams says, Tommy Robinson is owed a massive apology and should sue. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I saw this. Valerie Cheryl Irving says, Raja Mia was on Heretics podcast and YouTube took it down. Yeah, because they apparently got a report in or complaint of harassment, something along those lines. Yeah. Gonna take it down because of harassment. How about the child victims of the rape gangs? Insane. Where are the people's priorities here? Where's the institution's priorities here? It's mind-blowing to me. It really is. Valerie Cheryl Irving, yeah, Prevent are trying to make comments on illegal immigration a terror act. Seriously, this organisation couldn't even deal with the Southport monster. I know, right? And this is the thing. I saw it the last couple of weeks. Prevent were turning around and saying that anyone that was essentially critical about illegal immigration, this, that and the other, is spewing far-right beliefs and tendencies. Piss off. I'm not far-right, I'm just right. What I'm just going to say now. Whenever anyone accuses me of being far right, I'm just going to be like, I'm not far right, I'm just right. I'm just right. Let's put it this way, right? Do you believe Labour's right? After what that Labour cabinet minister said on Question Time this week, he's like, you look at the boats and they're full of women and children. Oh yeah, I'm looking at those boats. And it's a game of Where's Wally right now. But instead of Where's Wally, it's Where's the women and children? Because I don't see them, do you? Yeah. They're trying to gaslight us. They're trying to really enter us into an Orwellian age where they're trying to turn around and say 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4 anymore. No, 2 + 2 = 5. That's what they're trying to get us to be. I'm not falling for that BS, are you? Oh, Richard says, I remember your coverage during the Depp and Heard trial. Wow, you're a proper OG. That were donkeys years ago now. Wow, cool. Thanks for sticking around. Appreciate it. Kim Catchball says, get the Navy in the channel. Yeah, I don't understand the refusal of turning these boats back and escorting them back to France. Why can't we do that? It's insane. Advanced Watcher says, I looked today, there weren't any women and children. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Google that minister, row over Labour minister's small boat comments. It's not gone over so quietly. No. And he's tried to, and I've seen it as well. Actually, if I can try and find it. He's actually made a tweet in response to what he said on Question Time. Let me just see if I can find it. Thought I bookmarked it. So I'm just trying to find something. Ah, here we go. Darren Jones. Here we are. I did bookmark it. So he's now trying to kind of walk back on what he said. So he says here, of course, the overall majority of people arriving illegally on small boats are men, but not north of 90%, as Reform claimed. On BBC Question Time, I shared a story from my visit to the Border Security Command about a dinghy that arrived mostly carrying women, children and babies who had suffered horrific burns. I'm happy to clarify this, given how this is now being misrepresented. Labour committed new funding this week to secure our borders. Basically giving more money to the French that are doing NAFOR, right? While Reform have voted against giving our police the powers needed to smash the gangs fueling this vile trade. Not smashing any gangs whatsoever. So that's not what he said at Question Time. He just turned round and out said, as a fact, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, the majority of people coming over on those dinghies are women and children. He didn't turn round and say, well, from my visit with Border Security Command, the majority of illegal immigrants coming over that I saw were women and children. He didn't say that. He made a sweeping statement. The majority of people coming over on those things, illegal immigrants, are women and children. He's now trying to square the circle. He's now trying to gaslight us, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, and be like, what you heard isn't really what you heard. Again, going back to that Orwellian nature of saying 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4 anymore. 2 + 2 it actually equals 5. And that's what you're to believe now. Don't believe logic. Don't believe your eyeballs. Don't believe your ear holes. No, believe me instead. 2 + 2 equals 5. Repeat. 2 + 2 equals 5. Do you know what? Piss off, you freaking cowbag, Darren Jones. You can't square this circle. You said what you said. You said what you said. The only rational and appropriate response is to turn round and say, do you know what? I got it wrong. I got it wrong. Of course, the majority of people coming over are men, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. I got it wrong. But no, he don't do that. He tries to square the circle. It's not working. It's not working. Oland's Outdoor Gay Chat says, this is cute. Very kind of you. It's fantastic to see a young lady who is so clued up and passionate, because a lot of younger men and women are too preoccupied with themselves. Keep up the good work, Steph. Oh, well, thank you. I'm not so young, though. I'm 38 years old. I'm 39 this year. So I don't think I'm as young as you might think. But there we go. There we go. Snake Demon Gaming says 2 + 2 = 304. Yeah, the government might as well be trying to tell us that now. They've gone full on Orwellian. King Bob, hey up, King Bob, says if you're not right, you're wrong. There you go. There you go. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Oh, we got Project Metal Music in the chat. Hey up, mate. How's it going? Appreciate your face being here. Lone Gun Woman 2954. I can't argue with this. GB News has smashed more gangs than Mr. Starmer has. Yeah. Yeah. The only reason, as far as I'm concerned, that we know that the French are just happy to let these boats go, and they're literally watching them from the freaking beach as the dinghies set off, is because of GB News. That's why we know about it. Valerie Cheryl Irving says, misrepresented. He was watched by thousands spew his lies in full view of the global. Is he that stupid? Yep. I can't disagree with any of that. I really can't. I really can't. Olan's Outdoor Gear chat says, I take it back then. Yeah, I'm not as young as you think. There we are. Okay then, guys. So I'm going to be finishing this live stream in the next 5 minutes. So if any of you guys have any more comments that you want to add to this, or if you want to send a super chat my way, if you can, or if you want to like this stream, subscribe, and, you know, do the business that way, now is your chance to do so for the next 5 minutes whilst I'm still live. But yeah, I'm just very, very grateful and thankful that you guys turned up for this live stream. Wasn't really expecting all you guys to tune in, but you have done for my first ever one. So thank you so, so much. It'll make me more confident and yeah, excited for the next live stream, which will be next week. Once Baroness Casey has released her report, then yeah, I'm going to go live and I'm going to go through it. And again, yeah, let's have a little bit of a discussion live, see what you guys think to the report, my reactions to it all, and yeah, have a discussion about it. Let's see. Jane Doe, let's see. I did, but you ignored everything I said and asked. Please bear in mind that I can't read all your comments. I just pick out the ones that are just standing out to me. If you want to make sure that your comment is definitely guaranteed to be read, then the only way to do so is via a super chat. But as I do on my main channel, Steph the Alternate, whenever I'm live, I always do a mixture of, you know, super chats that come through, but also as well, you know, read out the live chat as well, the non-super chats, because you guys are watching as well, you guys are supporting, and you guys deserve some of your comments to be read out as well, as far as I'm concerned. But it is impossible to go through every single one of them. So again, I just pick out the ones that stand out to me. But again, if you want your comment to be guaranteed to be read out, the only way to do it on YouTube is to send a super chat. So that's just, you know, something for the future for you guys to know. Believe you, that's Angel 10, I think, is your name here on YouTube. Oh, what a humble, beautiful lady. Oh, well, that's very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very, very lucky and recognize, you know, how lucky I am on YouTube and to have this channel, to have my main channel, to have you guys a part of this community. Yeah, I'm very lucky. I'm very grateful for that. And never goes unnoticed. It really, really doesn't. So thank you guys. Jane Doe. Okay, Steph, thanks for the explanation. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Johnny says, honestly, I'm not sure who to vote, UKIP or Reform, but we need a Patriot Party in Parliament that want to look after our Brits. This is the thing. I used to support Reform, not so much anymore. Reform, though, seems the only viable candidate at the moment to unseat Labour. When you see the polls, you see Reform taking like over 300 seats, Labour going down to 60, Conservatives to 30, you know, that kind of thing, right? So at the moment, given the polls, sadly, Reform seems to be our best bet to vote in to get rid of Labour and all the cronies there. However, if Rupert Lowe did establish a new political party, I would back that all the way. What is the chances that Rupert Lowe and his party hypothetically would be successful and get into power? I don't know. I hope that he does have the best chance in the whole wide world. If he does create a new political party, that he does become our Prime Minister and gets in. But Reform has such a hold on the UK at the moment as the alternative to Labour and Conservative that sadly I think it may be difficult for Rupert Lowe and any party that he may create to unseat that, if that makes sense. It's sad for me to say because I wish I could turn around and say the opposite. I wish I could turn around and say that the country is primed for a fourth alternative political party headed up by Rupert Lowe to vote in and take over and unseat Labour, the Tories, and all the rest of the corrupt politicians in there. But I just don't think we're there yet. I really, really don't. Tracy Floyd agrees with me. I'm unsure of Reform at the moment. And yes, I would definitely back Rupert Lowe. Yeah. Ojo says, with respect, you always have to suck it up with politics. And if you want Conservatives, you're stuck pushing Reform. Yeah. Advanced Watcher says, Rupert says there will be another political party soon. I hope so. Yeah, the rumour is that he's going to be partnering up with Ben Hadid for the Respect Party, I believe it's called. But we'll see what happens there. Richard says, Ben and Rupert were the best things that came out of Reform. They took shine off Farage, fragile ego. Yeah. Yeah. They did. They did. But it backfired on Farage. Backfired on him. Because now people know that Reform isn't the party that we originally thought. It just isn't. Unfortunately. Feels like my heart got broken a little bit. In a way. Because I was so gung-ho for Reform. I was so encouraged and enthusiastic about Reform as a party. But yeah. That bubble has definitely been burst at this point. That is for damn certain. See. Ojo says, I'm not saying I agree, but it's taken Farage 200 years and 17 elections to become an MP. UKIP, forget it. Low and Reform might kiss and make up. Who knows? Yeah, I'd be surprised if that actually happens, if they actually do kiss and make up. But I'm going to leave it with what Robin Hood says here, which is, unfortunately, we've got to pick the best of a bad bunch. Seems like that is where we are at the moment. Johnny, Steph, thanks for reading one post out. Love you. Didn't have to. I would do a super post, but I don't like mixing or I don't like making online payments. I don't trust the internet or the hackers. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. But as I've always done on my main channel, Steph the Alternerd, I'll continue to do here as well on the live streams. I'll mix it up, you know. Your super chats are guaranteed to be read out. everyone else, I'll just pick and choose what stands out to me, but your chats are not guaranteed to be read. I will always try, when it comes to my live streams, to always read out your live chats as well, for those that can't afford a super chat or just don't want to send one. That's absolutely fine. Not a problem. As long as my only request is this: if you can't send a super chat for whatever reason, not a problem. Not a problem. I would at least request that you like my videos and my live streams and that you subscribe to this channel, because that is a way that you can still support me and Political Nerds and what I'm doing on here, but it's for free. It doesn't cost you a single penny whatsoever. So yeah, with that being said, as you guys are watching, whether you're live or on the replay, if you haven't done so already, on your way out, please make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe here at Political Nerds. Like, share, and if you're watching on the replay, comment down below, what do you think to Keir Starmer announcing a new national inquiry into the Muslim rape gangs? What do you guys think to it all? If you're watching on the replay, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much to everyone that's joined me live on the first live stream for Political Nerds. Really appreciate all your faces. Thank you so much to everyone that's kept me company to the end, that's commented in the live chat, that's sent very kindly any super chats. Thank you as well to everyone that's liked this live chat, that's liked this live stream when I can get my teeth back in. And a big, massive thank you to everyone that's subscribed to this channel today. I appreciate all your faces. Thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, wherever you are in the world. And until the next time, you guys, laters.